Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're taking a look at the Chinese stocks listed in the New York. Before we begin, remember take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with Alibaba. So BABA had a pretty good week, even though on Friday itself we saw some selling pressure. That said, on the way up, the cloud will act as a resistance, and clearly you can see that we are currently into the cloud. So definitely there would be some resistance. From recent high 104.85 to a recent low of around $58, you can see that we actually surpassed this 38.2%, and we are looking at this 50% at 81.43. If we can punch up further, then 87, 94, and potentially 105 is our next few targets to watch out for. That's it. Two support to watch will be around $75, and the next blue red baseline is around $72 here. Moving on to Tencent. So for Tencent, you can see that we also had a pretty good rally, or rather a pretty strong rebound. So you can see that these two supports will be critical, which is this first blue conversion line at around $34.50 and this red baseline at $32. That said, we already crossed this 61.8% and we actually hit this 78.6% at $39.10. But unfortunately, we are seeing some pullback here, back towards this 61.8%. And in the event we can cross $40 next week, then potentially $43 may be retested once again. Not forgetting there are a lot of gaps on the way up. So do bear in mind that the gaps may be filled while coming down. Next up, we have NetEase. So NetEase was pretty strong. Unfortunately, on Friday, we also saw some selling pressure, and these two candles wasn't too looking too good. 78.6% and 75.64. If we can claim that resistance back then we can potentially come back to retest 81.78, which was this previous high here. So currently, you can see that on Friday itself, this blue conversion line acted as a temporary support at around $67. And the next support to watch out for is this red baseline at 64.04. Moving on to NIO. So NIO, it seems to be trading sideways. Not much of an excitement. You can see that 38.2% resistance at around 11.63 was a difficult resistance. Tested once, tested twice. We still have yet to test this 12.63 resistance on this for NIO. If we can cross this 12.63 resistance, then potentially 13.63 and 15.06 is the next two resistance to watch out for. That's it. We are currently at this blue conversion line and red baseline, so they both act as a support and resistance at around 10.63 and 10.80 levels. Next up, we have JD.com. So for JD, we already crossed the 61.8%. On Friday, we see that the cloud on the way down acted as a temporary support. While we are still far away from this blue conversion line and red baseline, is currently acting potential support on the way down at $50 and also $46. If we can punch up this $60 psychological resistance, then potentially we can reclaim back this recent high here of 67.87. Moving on to Baidu or BIDU. So Baidu moving up, crawling up slowly. You can see the previous support here has now turned into a resistance. So do bear in mind that we may see some consolidation here before breaking up further. So of course, the 50% is $100. If you can punch out 106.33, that would be a good sign, potentially sending us towards 114 or even 125 at this recent high here. As for the support to watch, it will be around this $90 psychological support level. Next up, we have PDD. So PDD, a pretty good run. You can see that after we actually crossed this 61.8%, cloud was previously acting as a resistance, now acted as a support, and then we continue to climb up further, even climbing up to the recent high of around $72. So in the event that we can cross this $73 next week, the next resistance to watch out for is actually the $80 psychological resistance and potentially 95.58 as this previous high here. That said, 65.43 and this red baseline is pretty far away as around 55.77 level. So we still can pull back to those levels before climbing back up. Bear in mind that this was the previous high here. Potentially, we may see a fake breakout here where breakout traders take the trade and then we fall back down further. Moving on to the ETF. So this is KWEB. So you can see that KWEB had a pretty good run, but we are being stopped by the cloud resistance on the way up. So on the way down, the cloud acts as support, while on the way up, the cloud will act as a resistance. So currently now we're at this critical resistance at 26.38. So this was derived from the recent high of 32.05 and the recent low of around $17. So if you can surpass this, then potentially we may head towards 28.88 and potentially reclaiming back this recent high of 32.05. Support to watch will be around 24 and 22. Moving on to CWEB. So CWEB also had a pretty good run, but clearly you can see that this cloud is acting as a very strong resistance for the past 4 days. That said, it coincides with this 50% at 42.44. You can see that we are seeing some selling pressure at this Fibonacci resistance level, but that is also not a very strong resistance. The next one at 48.31 would likely to be a stronger resistance. And in the event you can cross it, then 56.68 and potentially 67.33 is the next two resistance to watch out for. As for the supports, it will be around 34 and also the $30 psychological support level. Lastly, we have FXI. So FXI, a very similar situation. I don't want to repeat myself. Cloud acted as a very strong resistance, and we also at this 50% Fibonacci resistance level. 27.58 and 29.40 is the next two support to watch out for. There's also a gap here that needs to be filled. And in the event that we pull back, then blue conversion line is around 25 and the red baseline is at $24. So overall, you can see that we did see a strong rebound for most of the Chinese stocks, but we are also at the cloud resistance and also a critical Fibonacci resistance level at 50% and also at 61.8% for its respective constituents. So will we see a strong rebound next week, or will we see a strong pullback next week? That will depend on the buyers or sellers next week. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.